Hello. If you don't know, I've got a challenge run solo only, where I can't use parties, trades, quest rewards, and as few NPC purchases as possible. And today, I'm here to confess something. I messed up. I ruined it. Well, okay, technically I didn't mess up with what was available to me, I just messed up from the very beginning. The class I was planning to use for soloing the earlier Realm Reborn content was Warrior. With a huge health pool, defense, and healing built into my main attacks, it was the perfect class to get this done with. And that's where it all went wrong. Starting as Warrior, you're locked to the Lenosha areas until you complete the airship quest. And before you ask, you can't take the boat to Vesper Bay until right before the airship quest either, so there's no way out. Since I started in Limsa, I was forced to take an early NPC purchase, copper and tin ore to make bronze ingots for the level 8 main scenario quest that forces you to get a helmet. But there was another way. A way so crazy, so complicated, and so hidden that I hadn't even begun to imagine it when I started. So we're here to right that wrong and show you what things could have been like if I didn't start in Limsa. Before we start though, I have something really exciting to show you. This video was sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, baby! Raid Shadow Legends is one of the best RPG games you can play, with hundreds of cool little dudes to collect, an in-depth combat system to scratch your PvE or your PvP itch, and amazing graphics to make its world incredibly immersive. If you're looking to challenge your PvE skills, check out this bad boy. One of the toughest bosses in Raid, the Hydra. Its multiple different heads are each practically a boss fight on their own. I mean, just look at these guys. You've got Mr. Blighthead poisoning your whole team, Mr. Torment dishing out some constant fears, the head of Mischief stealing all the buffs your champions use, the head of Wrath, no, not me, an angry dude that can deal huge damage if you attack him for too long, Mr. Decay healing all the other heads and turning your healing into damage, and the head of Suffering, the big man himself that uses a new debuff called Pain Link, which causes your champions to take damage whenever it's attacked. Challenge the Hydra together with your clan in Hydra Clash, where you and 4 other clans compete to see who can bonk the Hydra best for some sick rewards. You can play Raid on iOS, Android, and PC now, so what are you waiting for? Use the link in the description or scan my QR code to get some cool bonuses, like this cool champion knight named Errant and some useful items. Once you're in and fighting the good fight, you could come add Wrath games to your friends list, so use the link in the description or the QR code and get Raid today. Thank you again for sponsoring. We start things off with character creation. We have to make a brand new character, because my first mistake was making a character in Limsa. Voting on potato. Okay, alright. You know what? How about this? I will give you one chance. You get one opportunity. I'm gonna need everybody in chat to decide on a race that is not Elysian. If there is not any race in this poll that gets more than 50% of the votes, then we're sticking with Elysian. You got 4 options. You got a female row, a Lalafell, a Hrothgar, or a Mika. One of these has to get more than 50% of the vote for us to not be Elysian. 46, Lalafell is falling behind, female row is picking up. We've got 93 votes, 105 votes. How do we have 105? There's only 95 viewers. The poll has ended, it is gone, and we are sticking with Elysian as promised. Nothing got over 50. It wasn't rigged. How is it supposed to be rigged? This was a democracy. You did this, all right? You did this to yourself. With Elysian's victory, Perfect Solo was made, and we're ready to start. Perfect Solo has arrived. So we're gonna just revisit some of the earlier bits of the game and do things perfect that we figured out later in the run could have been done. Am I actually gonna be grinding it out, or am I just gonna demonstrate how it could be done? Oh no, we're gonna grind it out today. Because I don't have an understanding right now of how ridiculous of a grind it's going to be able to wear this goldsmith helmet. Unlike our warrior start, Perfect Solo will be starting in Ul'dah as a gladiator. You could pick any of the starting classes from Ul'dah or Gridania, but I figured gladiator would work best for now. Checking in at the quicksand with Momodi, it felt right to be back in Ul'dah. The first character I made started in Ul'dah, so it was nice and nostalgic to be running through the first quests again. Following through the start of the MSQ, we grab our first gladiator quest. To unlock our crafting and gathering classes, we'll need to complete the level 10 class quest. So we'll be doing these as we finish the few MSQ we have before we're helmet locked. We're either going to get all the way to the... Oh, thank you very much for the help. It's good to see you, Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Wait a second. We take down some star marmots, hornets, and snapping shrews for the gladiator quest, hand out some pretzels to some hardworking Sultan Sworn, help a very handsome stranger defeat some kind of demon. Look at our handsome boy. He's peak character design. He has white hair. What else could you want? And then we're there, at the one quest that can't be done without an exception in Limsa. So the helmet has to be eye level 5, and Goldsmith should be able to get us access to that. At level 15, Goldsmith can make brass circlets. The majority of these circlets are impossible to get as they use materials from Lenosha, but there was one singular circlet that uses a gemstone from the Shroud. One of the circlets requires lapis lazuli, which we mine in North Shroud, and brass, which we can get from mining zinc and copper in Western Thanalan. But first, we still needed to unlock our crafters hunters and gatherers. With the level 1 quest finished, there's only 2 more to go. We yell at some marauders in the middle of town, grab some hunting logs right outside, beat up the marauders from earlier, hit level 10, and the level 5 quest is complete. Then, the first instance duty done, the level 10 quest is finished, and we can unlock our crafters and gatherers. Right now, the only ones that mattered were goldsmith to make the helmet and miner to gather resources. Now, we had some grinding to do. Miner had to be level 7 to collect lapis lazuli, and goldsmith needed to be somewhere around level 15. And since we wanted this to be absolutely perfect, we had to throw out the shards we got from the first goldsmith quest and mine them ourselves. 29 copper ore in hand, we grab some wind shards and craft the first of many copper ingots. All those copper ingots get us to level 7, but since we can't make any of the higher level crafts, we're stuck with the level 1 to 5s for now. Copper rings get us to level 8 and unlock the next crafts, recipe level 11 to 15. We had unlocked the gemstones we needed and had the level to mine the materials, so now we just needed to unlock the circlet crafts. You get some zinc and make brass ingots for a while. Wait, no, I didn't do it. A few fire shards later, we move on to the next resources we need. Since we can't upgrade our miner gear, we were stuck with a low chance of gathering anything, but after a while, we grabbed some tin and zinc ore, soiled femurs, and a lot more zinc to make a bone neck. And there go my femurs. Great. Please. Please? Wow. Alright. 46%, 100% of the time. To make a bone necklace, brass ingots, and brass rings, and we're at the level to craft our lapis lazuli. Now it was time for the long, dangerous trek to the North Shroud to get our gemstone. From Central Thanalan to Eastern, and Eastern to South Shroud, we grab our first Aetheryte in Camp Tranquil, which we could use to teleport back if we happen to die, which was much more likely than you'd think. South Shroud was filled with enemies that can kill us in one hit, but this was the only way for us to get there. We had to make it all the way from South Shroud to North Shroud. Stealth doesn't work, sadly, because I'm only level 12 and it will only help with mobs that are 4 levels above me. Attempting to take the shortest route to our goal, we head up from South Shroud to Central. I have a feeling that it's going to murder me on the way. Maybe we just go to Central so we don't have to go through all these areas? While this was initially a good idea because of how low level most of the mobs in Central are, there was a bit of a problem. For us to get to North Shroud, we had to head through the standing courses, an area filled with level 30 plus hostile enemies. At first, sticking to the road kept us safe and avoided any mobs, but then, right as we were about to get there, please do not murder me, my dear Spriggan. No, don't hit me with, okay, fine, we'll go to Gridania. So we had to spend nearly 400 gil getting back. Wait a second, you can just take me to Gridania? Teleporting back in, we hitch a ride with a chocobo porter to get to Gridania a bit faster. Cheating counts as an NPC purchase. Alright, I'll dismount. Alright, I'm walking back. I've just teleported in. Nothing happened in between then and now, I swear. Yeah, there's no way that's making it into the video. No way at all. And so, 15 gil out the window, we head towards Gridania. Then, attuning to the Bent Branch Aetheryte, we made a massive mistake. We're gonna set this as the home point. Wait, how am I gonna get back to Ul'dah if I just set this as the home point? Oh no, I've ruined it. Mistakes aside, we make it to the safety of Gridania. While we're here, we unlock Carpenter and Botanist before running off towards North Shroud. This time, the Spriggans were turned away as we were running up the road, so we finally made it. Thankfully, a lot of the mobs in North Shroud are passive, aside from the Yarzons. A short walk later, we finally have our lapis lazuli. Now, we just needed wind shards to make the lapis into a gemstone and the final levels to craft our circlet, which means that somehow, with only 300 gil to our name, we had to make it back to Ul'dah. We don't have the return option anymore. Actually, you know what? I've got something better than return. We're gonna try obliterating this bat, and if this bat kills me, I will just live that life. That is, I'm okay with this. Because if it kills me, then it's cheaper to teleport back home. Respawning in Bent Branch, it was still too much money to teleport to Ul'dah. After making it back to Eastern Thanalan, we do some hunting logs, grab some wind shards. To be fair to say, this solo only would be so lonely. At the moment, actually, no. Surprisingly, there's a lot of gamers around here. Make lapis lazuli to level 14, mine some copper ore, make some brass ingots, and just barely manage to craft our brass circlet. Brass circlet is done. We now have the equipment that we need to complete this quest without purchasing things from an NPC. And so that's it, right? Done? Finished? Quest handed in? No. Now we had the new problem that my gladiator wasn't a high enough level to wear the circlet. To get a high enough level to wear it, we're relying on hunting logs. Around 30 minutes later, our hunting log is finished and we're level 18. We've got our fancy new helmet on, and we have completed the quest without ever purchasing an item from an NPC. And that took a grand total of 3 hours and 2 minutes. It was good to see you, Perfect Solo. I hope you have a great time resting in this exact spot, possibly forever. Who knows? We'll have to see. There are still some other things we could have done just a tiny bit better, but that's for another day. I hope you enjoyed this quick little peek into what things could have been like. Oh, and don't forget to download Raid Shadow Legends using the link in the description. Thank you once again for the sponsor.